Somebody call the season off. Call it off. Manchester United are at the top of the table. Call the season off. Stop the count. Stop the count. Man United win the Prem. Oh, I wish. But sigh of relief. Sigh of relief. First team to play at the Premier League campaign, and we start the season off with a win. We got 3 points on the board. You can't get things more right than that at the end of the day. But I think for a lot of fans, for a lot of people watching at home at the stadium, probably feeling a little bit flat come the later stages of that game, wondering, is this going to be the last minute winner, the last minute loser, or one of them board draws at the end of the day? But thank goodness, thank you, Joshua ZIRKZEE, for being a striker at the top end of the pitch. I mean, bloody Scott McTominay was bloody hovering around that area of the pitch. He was ready to steal that, but Xerxes like, nah, fam, it's my time. It's my time to shine. Little bench warmer. Get back on that bench. You're not needed. Not needed, Scotty. Not needed. You see, the new golden child is here in Joshua ZIRKZEE. Man, he's 22nd debut goal scorer for Manchester United. Not bad that. But I'm going to delve into the happenings of the match, give my thoughts and verdicts on what has transpired today. Away the lads, away Geordie. Big up, mates. Big ups to you too. Good to see you. Hope everything's well with you. Nice win. Well, I think there is. I think there is a little bit of a mixed bag of emotions with this one, because the result, fantastic. We like it. 3 points in the bag. We'll take that. Thank you very much. But man, we saw a fair few good bits with Manchester United today, but we also equally saw quite a few bad bits as well. Shades, very prominent shades of last season, where on a different day we are not winning this game, I think spring to mind. And I don't know how everybody else feels about that, but Richard Herbert, we won. Richard, we're first place in the league table. Man United are currently winning the Premier League race. We're favourites for the title. We've got a 3 points advantage over everybody else. Can you imagine that? Yeah, we just they call the season right now. They give us the Premier League title by default. Can you imagine that? That'd be amazing. Don't get to see anybody else play any Premier League games. No, just one game. Just one game. Get in there, 1-0 United, and had the score predicted right on show last night. I'm double happy. Well, treble happy. Clean sheet. 4 times. Happy. We're top. Facts, man. Facts. Top of the table. We'll take it. 3 points at the end of the day. And Fulham, no easy tests. They had their they had their moments in the game, and I feel like it was one of those where I think the game started off a very similar pattern to how we played against Man City, right? Start of the game, they've got the foothold, they've got things going their way, Fulham finding their rhythm, finding their feet. United a little bit sluggish, cobwebs need to be dusted off, the machine's not oiled up. Get us a bit of time into the first half and momentum sways more so in our favour. Get a foothold in the game, start working a couple chances, and I think there's a story to be said with today's game that a lot of big chances, easy chances you could say, where if the attacking player does better or works the chance better, that's inevitably a goal. But again, we're sort of I think a little bit lucky to say we got away with having won this game, taking a chance, but missed opportunities by other players could have very much told us a different outcome today. But There's positives to take away from that game, though. Have to say Bruno is terrible in front of the goal while shooting. He's inconsistent with his shooting. I mean, sometimes he'll come out with the most ridiculous finish, like he was offside against Man City in the Community Shield, but that finish was just stupid. Like it was genuinely stupid. And then you get him do a P roller, one on one with the goalkeeper, like several yards out. It literally makes no sense with the guy. It's like his shooting errors sat at like 100%, but for some reason he just finds the net with the hardest shots. It really is. It doesn't make much sense to me. But that being said, you know, yeah, I've said across the summer we need consistency, guys. We need consistency, and if we've got a player to play in front of a goal that's not consistent, then we're going to have some problems. We're going to have some problems. But thank goodness that Joshua ZIRKZEE, and by the way, cheeky finish, quite a cheeky finish, very delicate finish. Just sort of caressing it from across, caressed inside the left foot, finished into the left post. Yeah, can't get neater. It's a tidy finish. We like to see that from a striker, a tidy finish from a talented striker. Big up Hot Fuzz and chat. Big up Goat Says Football. Hope you're doing well, mate. Yes, it did start like that. Great win. Also, Fantasy Premier League, I put ZIRKZEE in my team. Thank you, ZIRKZEE, for giving me some points. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can't remember who I had in the rest of my FPL. I need to check back after this weekend to see which moves were genius moves to make and which moves were just dumbass plays. But let's see how many points I pick up from the first weekend, since it's the first FPL I've ever done. We'll see if I've got a clue or if I haven't got a Scooby. Got no one in United for my FPL, I believe. That's a shame. God, I gotta be a believer. Gotta be a believer, Goat Says Football. Got my GCSE results on Thursday, so hope all goes well. I'm sure you will pass all your examinations with flying colours. I'll tell you what, I think it's really definitely not worth feeling like you've done shit in any subjects, because you'll find out in those results that there will genuinely be a few surprises where it's just like, oh damn, I actually did a lot better than I was expecting to. That's how I went into things. I was just like, well, if I get good grades, I get good grades. If I don't get good grades, I don't get good grades. But, looking at my results, I was pleasantly surprised in a couple of my subjects. So, I'm sure you'll get those good grades in the bag. So best of lucks to you. And yeah, I'm sure Thursday, get to the evening, you'll be celebrating. Put it there. Put it there. Timestamp it. You'll get celebrations on Thursday night. So yes, in terms of the game, with what we had going on for 90 minutes, there's goods, there's bads, and there's downright uglies. And the goods in this game is Ahmad again started more so quite lively down the right hand side, a bit of trickery, bit in a player here or there. I think other areas of his game today could have been a little bit better, perhaps link up play, maybe a little bit of extra composure. But I like again the sporadicness, or spontaneousness from Ahmad. I like it when he just starts doing things, and it's like he knows what he wants to do. He starts it, and he's full speed ahead. So I like that with Ahmad. Definitely needs to be given more starts. Shame about being taken off for Garnacho. For me, I feel like Rashford. Rashford wasn't bad today. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't great. Very straight down the middle performance with Rashford, where I thought he'd be, where some people might think that he's a bit of a liability. At the end of the day, I think it's maybe in other days Maybe in other days it's a different story with him, but again, I think not that it's all his fault. Today, every time he had the ball on the left, there was a double up scenario in the defensive side of Fulham's game. Constantly Tete and Traore, bags of pace and energy, constantly tracking back and essentially marking Marcus out of the game. So, you know, difficult scenarios for Rashford to face in that game. Not a lot of space to really sort of get into, considering Fulham like to play a deeper defensive line. And maybe that's perhaps why some of the finishing today is a little lackluster, because, you're pressured to take the chances a bit more sort of snapshotty, because the defence you're playing against does play more low block. So it's difficult to work spacing for the chances and finding the time to actually execute it. So maybe playing against teams that are a little less defensively minded, perhaps it's a better day for finishing. But I'm hoping it's not the case that we see this repeat itself. I think with ZIRKZEE's goal today coming on to make a difference, I don't know if Ten Hag's going to resort to ZIRKZEE being that superstar bench striker that just comes off and will find the back of the net, like how he does with Scott McTominay, how he did with him last season. But I feel like with Ten Hag in terms of game management today, the only sub really that was right or justified was the ZIRKZEE one. Joshua ZIRKZEE came on for Mason Mount, who was on a yellow card. Mason Mount, I think, is a big question mark for a lot of fans this season. Like, where is he playing? What's the role? What's the instructions with Mason Mount? Didn't really have any significant impact at all. And I think with Manchester United, you want to see impact. But yeah, I think he was missing importance in that game. He put in a good shift effort-wise, but beyond that, there's not really anything else to speak about with Mason Mount. Yeah, that is literally it with Mason Mount. It's just a vanilla performance. Just, I'd say, just solid 6 out of 10 type performance. Absolutely nothing to really speak about. But yeah, it is what it is with Mason Mount. I'm sure as the team sort of goes on, we'll see different scenarios. I don't believe that this Mount Fernandes thing, as like the rotating false nines, if you will, or Fernandes in the false nine, is going to continue on for very long. For me, I hope it doesn't. I think we do need the striker up top, because big chances being missed by players that are not natural strikers. It make you almost beg to differ. On a different day, if we have a striker playing that, in that position, in that chance, hitting the strike, perhaps that's a goal. But today, yeah, Fernandes missing his shooting boots, I think. Did a few other things relatively well, but he's a false nine. Got to create a few passes, final passes, a little over here, under here. Majority of his other work was relatively good, but then the finishing was just absolutely horrendous. So, yeah, I think from a striker's rating, not good at all. In the evening, I'm anyways going to the Bridge for Chelsea game. Nice indeed. But will be even better if I get good results. Yeah, well, to get the start, make sure the stars align for you, mate. Make sure those stars align for you. Anthony Herbert, big up Fuzzy. Guess who got the score right in their predictions? Richard got the score right. Yeah. But yes, you got the score right as well. So well done to you. You saw it. I think you saw the game going a certain way, and fortune played in your favour. I think fortune played in your favour. I think I was a little too optimistic, a little bit too optimistic for myself. Although technically, if Bruno Fernandes actually was on form that game, probably would have had it right about 3-1. To be fair, it might have been 3-0 because I mean we didn't concede a goal, but yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, well done. Well done. It's a great start to the season off with a win, no matter the score. Absolutely. Absolutely. You could win 1-0 every single game this season. Perhaps have one of the worst, goal differences. But if you're winning every game, the points tally when you hit the game week 38. It's all that matters. It's all that matters. It's all in my hands. And I'll tell you what, start the league campaign with a win, put yourself in the driving seat. You'd be the first team to play and say, well, look, guys, first test, and we passed it. We've got Brighton away up next, so that's a very tough game. A very, very tough game. And hopefully by the time we get to Brighton, Agarte's in the team, because I'll tell you what, we can't really afford to have Casemiro playing in that game, because my man has just got no pace to him. No pace, no acceleration. Gets bypassed so easily, and also Harry Maguire can't start next game. He can't. Sorry, can't. You cannot play deep. Cannot play deep. Cannot afford it. Cannot stomach it. Play higher up the pitch, please. I beg. There was cutback opportunities for Fulham again today. Cutback opportunities. Same old shit last season. And it's from the same common denominators. But the problem is that this becomes a managerial test. The players that you keep putting all your eggs in the basket for, are we going to see them make way for the players that we desperately need? Because worst case scenario, and I'll tell you this now, worst case scenario is us signing Agarte and Casemiro still starts. Now, and I don't know if everybody actually has quite clocked it, but if Casemiro can't be subbed off, or he's too important to Ten Hag, what's to say that Agarte comes in and he's just like, nah, I'll keep Casemiro. I'll keep playing him. Even though he would technically be a worse performer on the pitch than Manuel Agarte. It's like Diallo could play a better performance as a winger than Marcus Rashford, but Diallo's coming off that pitch 99 times out of 100 before Marcus Rashford ever would. And that's going to be a problem with game management. And game management was an issue last season. We cannot afford for Ten Hag to be making game management decisions that are highly questionable, or with your big issues with how he goes about managing players, the substitutions he makes, and how he sets the team up. The mistakes of last season cannot come home to roost. But Casemiro, listen, I see Trippick's comment, Casemiro was the man of the match again, way better than most midfielders. But I feel like with the defence being so deep, if you play a deep defensive line, Casemiro is not your man. He has not got the pace to live with that. If you've got Harry Maguire in your defence, Casemiro should immediately be just bye-bye. You play a pacey. You play very, very pacey midfield, because you've got to make up for the lost area of the pitch between midfield and defence, which is where Fulham exploited a lot of space in the middle, where the most dangerous chances came from. Now, of course, you've got bloody Adama Traore, literally pace merchant, running down the wing for 90 minutes. Pace is a scary thing, but you have to make it so the dog's is all bark and no bite. And I think from Dalot's case, he did relatively. I think both fullbacks did relatively well today. I've got a lot of time for both of the fullbacks. And Mazraoui, debut performance, fantastic. very solid, very composed, looks the part, genuinely looks the part. And it's a shame we didn't get more of the play going down the right channels, because get him involved, push him up the pitch, and get him, intertwining with whoever it is that plays on the left, whether it be Diallo or Garnacho. It works for a good system, a good setup. And Masraoui, we saw that today. Diogo Dalot, for when he was pushed up the pitch, was all right. And defensively, I think each defender, to be fair, had their moment. Martin has had a moment of madness, but yeah, got skinned by Traore. Pace merchants, I tell you. But yeah, every defender, I think, had a moment of defensive brilliance in the game. A moment, just a moment. I think the system was a bit fortunate. I found a little bit fortunate that Fulham didn't make better of chances that they had. But especially with some of the breakaways that Fulham had, the likes of Maguire with an interception or two, Martinez last-ditch tackle, Mazraoui last-ditch tackle, Dalot positional sense. I mean, there's positives to take away from it from an individual standpoint, but it doesn't make it any less. It doesn't make it any more right for Maguire to be playing, even if he does have a good performance individually. It doesn't mean that Maguire or should play, because ultimately you play against another team that makes better opportunities than a Fulham. Then you'll be wishing that you hadn't, that you'd heeded the warnings. So, yeah, it is what it is. Casemiro is Manchester United's best player, especially now that Varane is gone. Manager is the problem, not Casemiro. Well, the thing is that the manager may be the problem, but ultimately the problem would stem from the manager, but that doesn't mean that Casemiro can't be a problem in the problem. Two things could be right in that sense. That manager picks Casemiro, but then Casemiro is a problem to the dynamic of that team if there's loads of space in behind, because he hasn't got good recovery pace. So he might do a lot of good work on the ball, but when the play switches over and you've got the team coming at you, it takes one pass to get around Casemiro, and it's quite a simple pass at that. If you've got a target man, all you got to do is just play it into the space. Target man will pick it up. Casemiro's got to turn around and run back, but he's not very pacey, so he can't recover and cover off that area of the pitch. He's not got the legs to do it. He may have the talent to play, quite skillfully further up the pitch. I mean, moments of brilliance, almost acting like a player in a Scott McTominay's position. That's a weird thing. A lot of these players, a lot of these midfielders, a lot of our midfielders who play deeper go forwards and they're brilliant. They all want to do Scott McTominay things. But manager chose to start Rashford, Bruno, Mount and Maguire. Nobody can help this brain-dead manager. Well, the thing is about favouritism, or favouritism essentially. And that's the thing we've got to see him change. With the introduction of Manuel Ugarte, change the dynamic. De Ligt he's played a little bit of minutes today. Surely by the time we get to Brighton, you need to play more attacking. You do need to play more attacking, because that's where the opportunities are going to come. Because you're playing against an attacking team. So you need to win the ball high at the pitch and punish. And Brighton, when you play high attack against Brighton, they run into problems. They do run into problems. So, yeah, I think we've got to work to exploit that next weekend. But Rashford, Mr. Manchester United, I think, personally, if this guy doesn't get it right this season with Rashford, I think he's got to go. Well, he should be gone. He should be gone this summer, but, it's one of those, isn't it, where people will say, well, New team, give him clean slate, see how he does this season. For me, my patience is somewhat run out with Rashford, so for me, I'd want him gone, but other people would probably be saying, well, let's see how he does this season. Let's try and get Rashi up to form. I think that's a him problem, though. Bruno is club captain. Not really going to ever, even on Ten Hag's best day, if he becomes the best manager in the world, he's still not going to bench Bruno. He's still going to stick with the guy. And Mason Mount, just a much of a muchness, nothing of a nothingness. Maguire made so many defensive mistakes, though. I think positionally, I think where he is on the pitch, he doesn't like to play higher up the pitch, and because when I think how the dynamic defensively works with him in the team, it looks so much uglier, so much uglier. It doesn't look clean because Maguire plays so deep, the midfield plays higher. He's exposed because of where he plays. He sort of has to. It's like a square peg in a round hole sort of situation that they're trying to make it. They're trying to be stubborn to make it work. With that, that's not going to end well. It's just not going to end well. So Maguire, he got to play defenders that will actually not put the defense in such an exposed position. Anthony got the prediction correct. Yeah, man. Bloody Anthony. He's already celebrating his Premier League win. He's like, yeah, I won the predictors. Yeah, I tell you what, he'll be sipping on whatever orangey, liquidy stuff that he usually drinks on streams. He'll be sipping on one of those, grinning ear to ear, looking at that table. Like, look at me. First game, maximum points. Oh, look at that. Maguire is always reactionary, doesn't have the ability to scan that danger. Big hunk of useless meat. And I think if the team is defensive, right, and everyone's closer to him, it hides that. It does hide it, so you don't really see. But yeah, I don't think you'd see if he played in a team that plays more counter-attacking football. I don't think you see Harry Maguire's faults as much because there's more players around him. It's like the meat shield, human shield, can't see through it. Maguire is reactionary and very slow on top of that. Yeah, can't disagree with that. Kobbie Mainoo, to be fair, in the midfield performance, very, very high work rate, and pressing from the front. I think executing, definitively executing pressing from the front quite effectively. A lot of I think he probably had the most turnovers of possession high up the pitch, more so than anybody else. It's a shame that with those turnovers of possession, that the team weren't more creative off the back of it. But Mainoo, good work today. Absolutely knackered. Ran off of his feet by the time he gets to sort of 80th minute onwards. And by that point, he's run his race. And henceforth, then Scott McMayonnaise came on the pitch. McMayo Milky Barked, trying to work the magic because the plan sort of, they called it a day on specifics in terms of plans. Like plan A wasn't really working, wasn't garnering chances. So they just thought, yeah, okay, route one. Stick tall players on the pitch and move them up the pitch. But goal didn't come from a header this time. Came from the cheeky strike of Joshua ZIRKZEE. Instant impact. Kobbie needs to be playing as the 10 or one of the two attacking eights. And that's where I think you bring Agate into play as your sitting player. You give Cobby the license to mosey on forwards into attacking areas of the pitch. Take Mount out of the picture. Have Bruno play slightly deeper into the midfield area. Cobby's the support player to Bruno. Bruno's not getting his game cancelled out by another 10 in Mason Mount. And then stick a striker up top. Your target man who's got some good outlets, the ability to link up play. I think, yeah, I think that's something that could work. I think that's a dynamic that would work. I think the wingers would need to be a bit more sort of like open to playing the pass instead of the shot. So I think Rashford has immediately got to be out of that team, but he's not going to get dropped. Cassie, Cobby as attacking eights and Amrabat or Agate as the sitting eight. Probably, yeah. To be fair, yeah. I don't know about Amrabat there, but I think to be fair though, with the sitting eights or sitting six, I think because the defensive line would be so high up the pitch, your number six essentially plays in the centre backs or within the centre backs. And I think Agate, would enact like a very pacey, but quite a tall stature. He's over 6 foot. I think he's like 6'1", 6'1", 6'2". So quite a little bit of a height presence there, but it's the pace and the aggression and the high end ability to actually win back the ball or to drive to win back the ball. He's got to be the immovable, the immovable object. Target man like Jay-Z. I like that. Jay-Z. It's like the rap artist Jay-Z. But yeah, Joshua ZIRKZEE, man. The difference maker. When the game plan seemed like all was that it was us heading for a draw. Nice cheeky finish. Neat and tidy. Well delivered. And a signing. First signing of the summer. And he's won Manchester United the first points of the season. Pep made John Stones into a defensive midfielder. Ball fraud can't do that. Well, I mean, it's not really a centre-back at the club. Maybe barring Lisandro Martinez, but I don't think the intent's to do that. But since he's played John Stones as a defensive midfielder, I think it was the season that they won the treble. After that, he moved him back to being a centre back again. He stopped playing him as a forward, like a forward centre back, if you will. He sort of went away from that idea last season, and it'd be interesting to see what the plan is for Man City this season. Whether John Stones gets utilised further in midfield again, or whether it's John Stones the centre back this season. But do you know what? The best thing about this trip is that where we got 3 points today, we've played our game. We've won 3 points. The rest of the weekend is kick your feet up and just enjoy watching teams either play good football and win entertaining games, and the other team's fan bases hit absolute meltdown. You get to enjoy a full weekend all the way through till Monday, whilst looking out for some transfer updates. So I think we put ourselves into a nice, comfy position. nice comfy position this weekend. Leach needs to be the makeshift 6 because he's not great as a centre-back, but still better than most Manchester United centre-backs, which is the reason why he should be a centre-back. Because he's better than most of the others, if not everybody else. But no, I think he is definitely he's going to have to be pivotal for us at centre back this season. And he's most important. He's got to stay fit. He's got to stay fit for as long as possible, especially with Lenny Yoro out. I mean, bloody hell, if Lenny Yoro's out injured for a long, long time, and bloody Martinez ends up picking up an injury, we are. I don't even want to think about it. Don't even want to think about it. I was hoping for a draw so the manager gets fired sooner than later. I mean, Jesus, that's a bit over the top. It's a little bit over the top. We won. We got 3 points today. What's to say things can't get a little bit better? You know, got to keep an open mind to things. I know you don't like what you've seen so far. I haven't liked what I've seen so far. But, you know, this is season number 3. He's got to make all the changes. And if he does make the changes, then we've won as a fan base. If he doesn't, then that's when we can rightfully say, yeah, mate, you this is season number 3. You've been backed by your board. So what's the excuse? Be backed by your boards. You know, you've got to change. I mean, get some more signings in, finish off the transfer window. And when you've got all your signings in, then there would be no excuse to play bad football. But I think there's moments of this game where we played better stuff. Watch Manchester United get amazing as soon as a good manager comes in. You could put that down to new manager bounce, to be fair. Could put that down to new manager bounce. I mean, bloody hell, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came in after Mourinho, and Lingard looked bloody amazing against Cardiff when we beat them 5-1. So a new manager bounce would just make everybody look juiced up. But yeah, I'm sort of in the camp where it's like I want to see the proof in the pudding from Ten Hag this season that, you know, he's changing, he's implementing a change that allows Manchester United to progress and get better, perform better, play better, get better results, score more goals, keep more clean sheets. You know, we can't see the same old that we've seen the past 2 years. We have to see change. We have to see change this season. But I'm talking about major honours. You're talking about Manchester United finally being back as soon as a new manager comes in. Do you mean? I think there's too much rot still around to jump straight into the pool of winning trophies left, right, and centre. But I think there's got to be a little bit of time and patience to sort of ravel things up, to put things together, to piece the puzzle together. But you've always got to see that everything is, you know, taking the right step forwards instead of stagnating or sitting around not really doing anything and naming that progress. You know, you need to see always positive change. Ten Hag has proven to me again and again that he's not even a half decent coach or manager. I think maybe if I want to throw this in here, maybe the idea that because things haven't gone well for Ten Hag at Manchester United, has for some reason made everything he's ever done before just null and void, which I think is a little bit more short-sighted, because it's like, you know, what a manager has done all his career up until Manchester United, all of a sudden changed, all of a sudden negative, all of a sudden defensive, all of a sudden chaotic. Second he comes to the Manchester United, I would say maybe the term that we say for this, instead of saying that he's just a shite manager or a bum manager, maybe it's just not the right fit of manager for the club. Maybe that's a bit more sort of a level-headed view of it, because I think it's quite harsh to just say, well, if manager win, good manager. If manager don't win, bum. I think it's a bit, it's a little bit too black and white for my liking. A little too black and white for my liking. I prefer seeing it have a bit more depth of understanding to it as to why is something happening, like why is it most managers are failing at Manchester United but then will do better at other clubs. You know, I just think a bad fit. Maybe it's like with Unai Emery at Arsenal, didn't have the patience, didn't have the backing, like full backing, but maybe it was just a bad fit. Goes to Aston Villa, better fit, better performance, better football, you know, warranting better results. And maybe that's the same situation for Ten Hag. Maybe that's the same direction he goes. If it doesn't end well at Manchester United, maybe he will go off to another club and just start winning trophies at the other club. Who's to say that doesn't happen? But yeah, all of those are hypotheticals because we're just talking about the future. But anyways, guys, leave your thoughts and feelings about the game in the comment section down below. Fuzzy also, he hasn't done anything in his career except win in one Dutch team. Well, the same thing with a lot of other managers. You know, it's still better than what we've had with managers gone by. I mean, with Ajax, it's everything else. You know, he didn't just win with Ajax; he just dominated. He dominated with an Ajax team, and no, understanding from Ajax fans how being a manager of that club is. You know, it's, you know, you do everything on shoestring budget. You know, just bring academy through, and just be better than everybody else. I mean, if anything, it's the easier job being a PSV manager than the Ajax manager. It's easier being the Feyenoord manager than the Ajax manager. So for me, he had a difficult job to do at Ajax, but did it really well. Did it better than anybody. One of the best managers of all time for Trophy Hall, but we can agree to disagree. I think there's a better manager in there than what we've seen so far from Ten Hag, and you think he's a bum, so I'll agree to disagree on that point. But I'm going to finish off the rest of this and go to bed because for some reason I have to work again tomorrow in retail on a Saturday, which is fun, great, fantastic, brilliant. But at least I get to know that my team won on Friday Night Football. We picked up 3 points, and yeah, everybody else can play and be on the edge of their seats across the Saturday. I'll have to keep an eye on scores. Sorry if I get caught on my phone. I'll just sit there with my phone out whilst there's loads of customers on the shop floor, just like, can I get some help? Wait for it. I'm just watching this game. I'll just watch this chance and I'll come help you. Yeah, that's my resolve. Professionalism personified. But anyways, yeah, do be sure to pop your thoughts and feelings in the comments section down below, as well as liking the stream and yeah, and also subscribe because on the road to 300 subs, making moves. Hopefully, we can hit 300 by the time the year is out. That would be a fan-dabby-doozy if we can do that, and that'll be big thank yous to everybody that does contribute in supporting the channel. And yeah, that is. What's this? Why can't you coach the players then? Wow. Some of those players are some of the most uncoachable players. Like, I wouldn't want to coach half of those players, to be fair. I wouldn't want to coach half of those players. You wouldn't want to coach half of those players. 99% of managers wouldn't want to coach half of those players. Some of those players just cannot help themselves. Marcus Rashford is one of them. But the less said about that, the better. But anyways, salutes to you, Tripvik. And salutes to everybody else watching from wherever it is you are in the world. But yeah, take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Friday nights, and we will see you at the very least, for Sunday night takeaway show at 8 o'clock on Sunday. So until then, take care, enjoy your evenings, and stay blessed. Ciao for now. Plug your ears.